What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome back to the Cloud Gaming Extreme channel, and we are taking a look at God of War on GeForce Now, the RTX 3080 tier, and this is going to be at 1440p, 120 FPS, and some 60 FPS, so I kind of want to get into that a little bit here. So let's go ahead and jump right into the game, and then we'll take a look at the settings, what we're going to be talking about here, and then look at some gameplay and some visuals for God of War here. So we'll have our FPS counter up in the left-hand corner for you, and quickly, if you hit Control N, you can bring up your GeForce Now statistics over here. We'll have a pretty good ping at 14 to 16 milliseconds running 120 FPS stream, and like I said, we'll change everything over to 60 FPS with VSync later to show that, but this is where we're going to start out at here. So let's go ahead and get into display, which we care about most here for my settings, and borderless 1440p. VSync is off for 120. We are capped. Motion blur and fill grain off. We'll go ahead and use reflex low latency here, and we are going to use DLSS quality for the 120 FPS, but we'll go through some of those and show you the differences later on as well. And as far as our graphic settings, that's pretty simple. We're just going to go in and ultra preset, and we're going to leave things like that for the whole video. So that's pretty much what we're going to go with, and we'll go through more of these settings in DLSS here in just a little bit. Now we'll just jump into a new game file here, and we're going to kind of jump all over the place, but we all know how great of a port God of War is on PC. They did a fantastic job bringing this game over to PC. They even added features over time, and DLSS and FSR and the quality settings, everything works really, really well in God of War. And this carries over to GeForce Now. I was really pleasantly surprised with the visuals here, especially at the 120 FPS with the bitrate that we're using, maxed out at the 50 megabits per second. We really don't suffer much when it comes to stream quality, pixelation, bitrate issues, that type of thing. Everything looks great. Even in challenging scenes like this, where we've got water, fog, darker areas, different lighting, shadows. Yes, you're going to see some of those bands and some of that pixelation, but it's very clean, especially considering we're trying to push the 120 FPS at the same bitrate that we would push the 60. Looks really good, and I'm really happy to see this for God of War over on GeForce Now. Also, the performance of the game is excellent. I've seen major frame rate dips on some other systems, and I'm not seeing that here. Now, what I want to do is get back into the settings a little bit like I was talking about, and just kind of look at the DLSS thing a little bit. And we are still at quality here, and I want to take us over and turn that off. We're going to go from 91 FPS at quality down to around 81 FPS with DLSS completely turned off. So you would have no problem at 1080p or 1440p running this game with DLSS off if you wanted to. However, there are going to be areas of the game that are much more challenging to run, and you may want to do that. Going over to balanced, you'll see us pop up to around 96 or so FPS. We gain a little bit over quality. Quality and balanced are definitely my go-to DLSS settings when I'm wanting to use that or when I'm trying to get the higher FPS. You don't lose too much image quality, and it works really well. Now, getting into combat, things feel really snappy when it comes to the 120 FPS. I can't show you how smooth it is on a video because we're recording and uploading a 60 FPS video, so you're not catching all the frames there when it comes to the 120 FPS stream and game, but it feels fantastic. You can definitely tell things are snappy, the higher frame rate, the reflex technology is working really well. And I'm going to switch this over to 1440p 60 FPS because we're recording at 60 and it might make things look a bit smoother. And we'll be sticking with no DLSS and VSync here for the 60 FPS, and indeed it should look pretty good. Now, the picture quality is fantastic here at 60 FPS with no DLSS on, and it's running very steady. I tested this in a few different areas and I never experienced a drop, at least not that I noticed as far as the FPS went. So latency wise, of course, it's not quite as snappy as 120 FPS, nothing would be, but it's still extremely good. It felt at least as good, if not better, than playing on any console experience with that. So anyways, guys, God of War looks fantastic on GeForce Now. I'm really excited to get into it on more devices and with more settings. I'm going to leave you with a bit of this fight here so that you can check out more performance, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
We're gonna fight that?
We have no choice.
I'm set. Okay, just tell me what to do.
yourself, boy.
I'm fine. Kill it.